Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Dear students, today in this video lecture, we shall deal with a new lesson that is a short story, namely Dusk, written by Hector Hugh Munro, whose pen name is Saki. So let's begin. When we talk about the author, he is a British short story writer, and Saki is often regarded as one of masters of short story. Okay, so he is considered as one of the best short story writers, and he is often compared to O. Henry and Dorothy Parker. O. Henry and Dorothy Parker, they are all also considered as the masters of short story. And his best short story is The Open Window. Okay, now regarding more information, you may jump to page number 147 of your textbook and you will get more information regarding the author. Now let's move towards the background of this short story as it is given on your book. Suppose you meet a stranger, okay, and the stranger tells you that he has visited your town for the first time. He has lost his wallet. He has forgotten the name of the hotel where he resides. He has nothing to spend. He has nothing to eat. He has no money. And he needs your sympathy. Now the question is here that would you believe his story and support him, help him? Now there must be reasons. How and why you will believe him, or why will not you believe him? Because the story is likewise the main character or the central character of the story is Norman Gotsby. Norman Gotsby is the central character of the story, and same thing happens to him. So without wasting any time, let's move towards the story. As the title of the story suggests, it is namely Dusk, okay, and Dusk has, it is both denotative and connotative meaning. It is hidden meaning also. It means as dusk is the time, it denotes evening, okay. So it may denote journey, it may denote end of the journey of one's life, okay. It denotes defeat, because dusk comes at the end of the day, okay. It denotes defeat, it denotes hopelessness, it denotes sadness, etc. You got it? This story is set in London. Now what happens in London? When we talk about our central character, that is Norman Gotsby, it was March, the month was March, time was evening time, and time was 6:30 p.m. Okay, evening time. It was 6:30 p.m. It was evening. It was March, and our central character, that is Godsby, was sitting on a bench in a park. Okay, and it was dusk time. It was dusk. Dusk had fallen over the scene, over the surroundings, and as you know that at dusk we can find that the streets are empty, all the business sectors are closed. Okay, it means that there is no such heavy activity as that is during the day. Now, Norman Godsby, when he was sitting on the bench, he just introspected himself first. Then he inspected his surrounding, the people who are there in the park at the darkest hour, and all the people, they look defeated, they look hopeless, they look sad, because they are all after the rat race to earn money. They are just after materialistic purposes. Okay, they are after money. Now, Norman Godsby, he considers this hour, dusk, as an hour of defeated, because he thinks that the people, men and women, they fought and lost. Okay, and their all fortunes, their hopes, they are all dead. Now he looks towards those sad people, and what happens next is very important. Now, the park was full of lights, street lights. It was decorated, highly decorated. But according to the central character, now he tells us that unless and until a person is not content, the happiness does not lie in the heart of a person, the surroundings hardly matter. When a person is happy inside, and in such condition, when a person sits in the lap of nature, takes rest on a bench on evening, it gives him some relax. But when a person is sad inside, and when the people that surround him, they are also sad, it creates more sad view. Now, same is the case with Norman Godsby. As he himself considers himself, he just thinks that he is also a defeated person, although he has no money troubles. But still, he is sad like other people. Okay? Now, suddenly, when he looks uh, around, he finds that there is someone else sitting on the bench. Now, who is that? He is our second character. First is Godsby himself. It is an elderly gentleman. Okay. Now, when he looks towards this elderly gentleman, he finds that this elderly gentleman is very sad. He has lost interest in his life. He feels defeated. Remember Dusk. Okay. He has lost the battle of life. He feels defeated. He feels very sad, and as if he feels that there is now no hope for him to live. He feels that his life is worthless. It is of no use. Okay. Now, when Godsby looks towards this elderly gentleman, he finds that this elderly gentleman is wearing very shabby clothes. So he looks very poor. It looks that he does not have food. Okay. He looks very. This elderly gentleman looks very hopeless. Okay. Now, after a few minutes, this elderly gentleman, he just vanishes and disappears into the darkness, and his seat is replaced by a young man This young man sits on the same seat where the elderly gentleman was sitting. Now, Godsby looks toward this young man and he finds that there is something wrong with this young man too. And when he talks with the young man tells him his sorry story. It is his sorry tale, it is his sad story which he narrates to Godsby. Now, what is the story? That is very interesting. This young man, he tells Godsby that he is a stranger in London. Okay, he came there to book a hotel, and it was a Patagonian hotel in Berkshire Square in London. Okay, but what happened when he reached on the address given? He found that the hotel is no more there because it was replaced by cinema theater. Okay, now a cinema theater exists on the location of that very hotel. So he searched for another hotel and he did the same. Luckily, he got a hotel. Now he was feeling bored. He was feeling bored in the hotel. So, and one thing more, he always hated. It is the young man's story. He always hates the soap used in hotel. So, in order to get a new soap, he just wanted to wander about to find a cake of soap. Okay, a cake of soap from a shop, so that he may refresh himself. Now, when he left the hotel, he just inspected a few shops to buy the soap and he moved too far away from the hotel. But when he tried to return back after buying the soap, he forgot the address, he forgot the location of his hotel. Now he has, according to young man, he narrated the story, he has lost his wallet. When he found that he has lost his wallet, he has no money and he is in dire need to be helped. That the young but our main character Norman Godsby was no fool. He tells him, could you please show me the soap you bought from a shop? But this young man failed. He could not provide, he could not show him the soap he bought. Now it was the point where Norman Godsby, our central character, he realized that this young man is trying to make him fool. He's just playing on him. He does not believe his story. And after a few moments after narrating the story, when young man found that Norman Godsby is not going to help him, he leaves the place. What happens next, inshallah, that's very interesting. We will find that in the next lecture. Till then, take care and fi amanillah.